Hello everyone, my name is Devlina Ray.
And my name is Abhishek Singh.
Welcome back to yet another episode of Weekends with Us. So we recently watched this movie. I forgot the name of the movie.
Killer Soup.
Yes. So we watched this Killer series, the name of which is Killer Soup. It is directed by Abhishek Chaubey and we have Konkona Sharma and Manoj Bajpayee as the leading cast. I think just like most of our reviews, how we usually go about, we declare the verdict at the start of the video itself. So I think we can definitely declare it as a killer series and you should definitely go and watch it. It is in Netflix. It just released on January 11th and I think it's a must watch.
It was a surprise for us. Honestly, when we started it, I mean, it does take a little bit of time to reel you in. I mean, it is quirky, it is dark. And if you don't know the people who have made this series, you will take a little bit time to get used to the tone of the series.
Yeah, just like we both of us, like we have different tastes, but also sometimes similar taste in genre of the movies. So he likes quirky movies from the go. For me, it took a little bit of time to get used to the quirkiness, and I think towards the end of the movie, it was the quirkiness which made me also like the movie.
Right.
Since we're talking about the movie, and I think we did a little bit of research onto which will help you also building the credibility of the movie and why we are saying that the movie is definitely a must watch. Of course, it has the leading cast members as Konkona Sharma and Manoj Bajpayee, and this movie, I think it needed the acting in the actors, and these two people pull it off like crazy.
Absolutely. I mean, like they kind of elevate the entire plot. I mean, I can't think of other people who may have acted the way they acted in this series.
I think before we even talk about the cast, a lot of it depends on the story.
Right.
The story, it took them 2 years to write.
Okay.
And this has been directed by Abhishek Chaubey, who came to, whose movie got released after a decent amount of time. The last was Songeria, but he actually started his journey or his professional journey as an assistant director to Vishal Bhardwaj. So movies like Omkara and Kamine were the ones where he actually helped Vishal Bhardwaj in co-writing them.
Right.
And then he went on to make his own movies like Urta Punjab, Dear Ishqiya. And there is one movie in which Konkona Sharma and Abhishek Chaubey is a commonality, and it goes back to the time when Konkona Sharma had actually written and directed A Death by the Gunj and or Death in the Gunj. I'm confusing the names, so we'll write it down.
Right.
But that was the movie which was written and directed by Konkona and was produced by Abhishek Chaubey. And now how the tables have turned, that this is now being directed and kind of also co-written by Abhishek Chaubey, and now Konkona plays the lead role.
Absolutely.
Speaking of production, this is also a
MacGuffin production. Right. So if you know the meaning of the word MacGuffin, it's basically an object or a device in a movie, in any kind of TV series, book, whatever it is. It is basically some kind of object or device which basically propels the plot forward, right? It's a trigger. In this particular plot, it's the soup, which is in the name.
Killer Soup.
Of the series itself, right? The Killer Soup. I mean, it starts with soup, it ends with soup. I mean, soup is everywhere in this series. Apart from MasterChef, I think this is one series which has made me crave for one particular item the most. I so wanted to order paya soup by the end of it.
Yeah. And I think that is how the plot of the movie also revolves around, as you rightly mentioned, that everything revolved around the paya soup. Exactly. And that is being made by the leading cast, Konkona Sharma, who keeps on making the same paya soup every day because there is a motive also. She eventually wants to own a restaurant and become a chef as well. So that is the reason. I think the word killer in the Killer Soup is being used with double meaning.
Right, absolutely.
Jabardast and Jaanleva both.
Right.
I think during the trailer of the movie, we thought it is definitely going to be Jaanleva, I think in due course we also see that Jabardast is also a meaning that comes with it.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, basically, she's very terrible at it, by the way. When I'm saying that I was craving for it, doesn't mean she's very good at it at the start. So she keeps on making this terrible soup over and over and over again, and people are sick of it.
Because she wants to master that particular dish, for which she also goes and takes a lot of classes and all to some Khansama and to nail that art. But she fails every day.
And she picks it up again. I mean, like, it's like, paya soup over and over again. I mean, so she's terrible at it, but since it's paya soup, we are hardcore non-vegetarians. Even now I'm salivating talking about paya soup. Right? So that is how much important this is to the plot. And talking about plot, it's incomplete unless we talk about the cast of it.
Definitely.
So basically, there is Manoj Bajpayee who plays dual role. I mean, if you saw the trailer, you know that he's playing a double role. He is playing Prabhakar Shetty, and he's also playing the character of Umesh. So he is like kind of a businessman. He belongs to a family which involves themselves in business, and he has a brother, Arvind Shetty, who is played by Sayaji Shinde. From Satya and all the movies, he still looks the same. He doesn't age. He looks absolutely same. I mean, his normal photos in the Google and all, he still looks a little bit aged, but in the movie, he exactly looks like what was the song? मैं आई हूँ यूपी बिहार लूटने. That one. I only remember him, enjoying when Shilpa Shetty is dancing. That is all I remember him from. Yeah, so he fantastic acting by the way by him also in the series. Then there is Konkona. She plays the role of Swati, who is wife of one version of Manoj Bajpayee.
Yeah. But she plays the role of a shrewd and a smart wife.
Right.
Who, I mean, initially who was a chef, who was a nurse. Initially she was a nurse, and later on she got married to Manoj Bajpayee, one of the Manoj Bajpayees, and now she wants to own a restaurant and become a chef in due course of
basically, she comes from a humble background, gets married, isn't allowed to do anything at all throughout her life, and now she wants to do something. She wants to
but her actions are not really humble.
Right.
Okay, that is to be noted.
Then we also have Nasser, who plays the role of cop Hassan. Nasser and Hassan, double S in the middle, both the names.
Yeah.
And then there is Lal. The theatre name or the name he has adopted is Lal. He plays the role of Lucas, the person who is the bodyguard to Arvind, right?
We also have Thupali. I mean, the person who is a very enthusiastic. First time in the job, corporate job, he's like very enthusiastic, always celebrating, small wins. We see him also as a sub-inspector.
Sub-inspector, right? He just joins junior inspector, whatever you call it, fresh to the role.
Fresh to the role. But here, I think they have captured how there is a fight for power within the family members. Which is also very much existent in the real world as well. And here also we see like all the people who we named, except the inspectors and all, who come by because there is a murder mystery also involved here. Apart from them, all of them are family members in some way related to each other.
Right. So I mean, I think it basically the plot deals with family drama, backstabbing, lot of crime. Of course, a murder happens, and I mean, like any plot which involves two versions of the same actor, one has to die. Right, so there are murders. Then there are thrillers where you have to figure out who has done what. The police is trying to determine who is the killer, who is whom to put this blame on. So I mean, the plot actually moves very at a good pace. Is what I can say. It never really slows down. Always something or the other is happening in each of these 8 episodes which are there. So it has a dark tone, and then there is a comedy aspect to it. And just like for example, Udta Punjab, let's say, just for reference, there also the plot was quite dark about drugs and all. Here also the plot is dark, but the comedy lands. I mean, in the plot it's unintentional, but someone has written it, and it comes across as comedy. Yeah, you laugh at what is happening at the screen. It's not like it's a lame attempt at making the scene humorous or something. So it really works.
Yeah, वो गुदगुदी वाली हंसी नहीं है. Like these are like either those laughs are coming because of situational or because of the acting.
Right.
I mean, I loved Konkona's acting, man. Like, I'm a diehard fan of hers. And she came also, I think, in the movies after a really long time.
Really long time. Yeah.
Because she was last, but she was a director in one of the stories in Lust Stories too.
Right.
I think, but her last movie was quite years back. Right. So I loved the way she acted, man. She's such a natural she is.
Right.
Speaking of the story, this is actually, I mean, it is mentioned also in the trailer that it is very, very loosely based on a news headline. I think this is how it is there in the trailer as well. And we were trying to find out what is it. Is it actually inspired by a movie, by a novel, or by something else? We found out that this is actually based on some 2017 Telangana murder mystery, where the wife and the lover they plan some conspiracy against the husband. The husband dies, and the lover actually
acts as
the husband.
Oh, is it? Okay.
But they finally fall in the trap, or like there are all these things come into the limelight because the lover actually denies having a mutton soup.
Oh wow. Okay.
So this is the reason why it is mentioned. It is very, very loosely based on a news headline, and this was the news headline. You can also Google it.
Great, I think and very few plot holes. I mean, for usually these kind of movies, right? There are usually a lot of plot holes which I figure out. I'm like, no, this doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. I think more or less they covered each and every aspect of the story. There are some liberties taken with a certain supernatural aspect to it. Where some kind of ghost is guiding, and the cop, just a little bit of it, but it's okay. I mean, you can let it go.
I think it is shown as, we can say, right? It was Thupali who ends up dying, and why I will not get into that why he dies, but actually Konkona attracts death.
Yeah, exactly.
She's not killing anyone, but deaths are happening in and around her, and the deaths are shown as very naturally happening.
Exactly. I mean, so that was the clever part about this thing, where when she tries to justify her actions at any point in time, okay? So whatever happens in the series, and during the series, at the end of series, whenever she's trying to justify her actions, she comes across as very human.
Yeah.
Like each of us, what we do is, when we end up making some grave mistakes, we always trying to say, so what यार, वो भी तो कर रहा था ना ऐसा, और मैंने कुछ नहीं किया, ये तो हो गया बस. The way she was explaining it is very natural. Like that is actually how humans work. You will talk to a corrupt politician, he'll be like, so what? Look at British. They took trillions of dollars from India. I'm just taking few crores. Like everybody justifies whatever bad action they do. So it over justifies.
Yeah.
But it came across as very human. Also, I think the way they were acting. So one thing which I noticed was, when one version of Manoj Bajpayee and Konkona's fame, when they're throughout this journey, they're kind of still loving each other, but they're also like growing a little bit apart.
Yeah.
So that aspect of it comes across very natural. They're still saying baby, Jaan,
Prabhu.
No, exactly. But then those are very fake. I mean, you can sense the fakeness in it, right? I mean, and not because the acting is bad. The acting is super. They are actually representing how they are growing apart because of their actions.
Yeah.
So that aspect of acting I really liked.
And that can only be brought by these people.
Yeah, exactly.
The reason why they are the most reputed actors is because they can bring out such nuances in the acting.
Yeah.
Like these will definitely not be mentioned in the script, right?
Exactly.
You have to act fake. I mean, like they have gone into the character. They have just feeling the character, and they're doing all these things.
Exactly. Not like certain actors who can't even say good morning properly. Good morning. You know who is this? Yeah, cheese. Anyway, right. So I think So acting was absolutely great. Writing, as I talked about, was absolutely watertight. No plot holes at all. Cinematography, good. I mean, like it shows these green terrains, jungles, rivers. Sometimes even indoor shots, like the lighting. The way it is representing the dark mood of the series. So everything is done very good. The camera work is absolutely great. Right.
So I think this entire movie revolves around, I think there is a lot of money involved.
Yeah.
Because one Manoj Bajpayee dies. So Konkona is still focused that she still wants to own the restaurant, and she's now finding out ways to make that happen.
Yeah.
That leads to a kind of a murder mystery also.
Yes.
But towards the end, a lot of deaths keep on happening around. So which is why there is a lot of job on the inspector's part.
Right.
Towards the end, it gets revealed that they finally come to a conclusion that yes, probably Konkona is the one who is
behind most
behind
of
the murders.
Yeah.
The fact that she is not actually doing the murders is something her story to tell.
Right.
But in the end, we see, I mean, the climax is something which is
a little ambiguous.
but they're also seen leaving in a bus, which is absolutely empty.
Right.
And
that is left to your interpretation of how you want to perceive what happens.
Yeah. I think our interpretation, or at least when we were discussing...
Spoiler warning.
It has always been spoiler.
It's okay.
But it's okay.
Still, for you. Spoiler warning.
We feel that I think they are dead.
Yeah, they're dead. Right.
Because they are going in a bus, which is absolutely... nobody else is there.
Yeah, bus station was empty. Bus was empty.
Exactly. The road was empty.
Road was empty. No driver.
And there was no driver also.
At least I did not see one. What I mean is I did not see one driving at least.
Oh, this I missed.
At no point they show anybody in the front seat or anything. When they board the bus, there was nobody sitting in the driver's seat also, right? So
I'll watch that clip.
Yeah. So
but that is even more interesting. Right. And Upar Thuppali is sitting.
Yes. Right.
So which means all the dead people are now headed to a land.
Yeah.
Where there are only dead people.
Yes. Right.
I think this is how the movie ends.
Exactly.
And we like the ending somehow.
Yeah, I was completely fine with the ending. I think that is a good way to end the series.
We saw, when I was researching about a couple of things from the movie, I saw that there is some debate happening about the climax.
Oh, okay.
We did not get into it because sometimes that changes our version of how we feel about the movie.
Right.
So I'm sure there are going to be debates about it, but we are absolutely convinced of the ending of the movie.
Yeah.
And
that is a more satisfactory ending also because once you have gone down this rabbit hole of crime, you have killed so many people intentionally, unintentionally. It's a fitting end to the people involved that they die.
There are consequences.
There are consequences to your actions. Right?
Not like Animal.
Animal, yeah.
Or Kabir Singh.
Exactly.
When there are no consequences.
Whatever you do.
You are, loving somebody else. You are in relationship with somebody else.
Yeah, your bones are broken, healed. Your heart is punctured, get a new heart. You cheat on someone, completely fine.
You can still your current relationship person will still accept you. Not like that. Here some crimes have happened and you're also facing this consequence. You're probably dead.
Right.
I think the way it was showcased was again brilliant directional thing.
Exactly. Yeah. So basically, because even before, again we are talking spoilers only. So Umesh at one point says कि चलो चलते हैं बस से. Right?
Towards the end.
But she refuses. She's still trying to be there. So there has to be a consequence to that piece. Where she kept getting this chance to run away with him, but she kept saying no. So it's a fitting end, where they die.
This could be something, the ending could be like from the perspective of Umesh.
Right.
That finally they two are together and they are going in a bus.
Right.
Like they always wanted to flee from that place to some Mussoorie or some other place.
Right.
That never happened because Konkona always, she was so focused that she wants to be a chef in a restaurant. She eventually also makes that happen.
Yeah.
But this could actually be from the perspective of Umesh.
Right. Could be.
Because, towards the end, it is still shown that, of course, Konkona jumps off the cliff.
Yeah.
But she's also shown swimming.
Yeah. It's like her eyes open, she starts swimming, then she walks to the bus. So, I don't know from whose perspective it is, maybe from both people's perspective.
This is our this is our perspective of their perspective.
Yeah, exactly.
You could have a different perspective, and that is the beauty of such movies. You can think, you can go bonkers by thinking on these lines.
Right, and in the end, when they are taking Umesh to the hospital, the jeep is actually empty.
Yeah.
So what happened there? They shout as if the person is missing from the back seat. So again, that is why it is a little ambiguous. You can make your own judgment of what actually happened.
So that brings us to the end of our review on this beautiful killer movie. Let us know what do you feel about it, what do you feel about our review, and do leave a note, a comment, like, share, subscribe, spread the word. And but the most important thing, do not miss out on watching this fab movie. It definitely deserves a lot of views and watch. That's it from our side. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.